So now that you're ready to set up your schedule rotation, to start out, you need to divide each grade level population by about 30 kids. I wouldn't do more than 33 to determine the number of groups you will need. You wouldn't want a group much bigger than 30. 33 would be about the max. And then make a list of all the faculty, staff, and space that you have available that you can use to accommodate these students every day. So you can use the gym that can hold multiple groups. You can use the library, the cafeteria. You can use computer labs. Any adult on campus, pull them in. And if you're worried about behavior in some of those bigger groups, make those locations selective, meaning students have to earn their way into these sessions. So this example that we're looking at here shows 12 different groups of students per grade level. So they're labeled by grade, but then they're also labeled by letter. So it goes from group A, B, all the way to group L. And students are alternating by default assignment through content enrichments, projects like STEM and research. They go to PE. They have some time with current events, robotics. They do library skills, spend some time with keyboarding, music appreciation, Spanish, debate, finance, art, poetry, creative writing, and then band. And we determined these sessions based on the skills of the teachers that we had available. So let's look at week 1. This shows the location assignments for every group in week 1. So this Monday is all happening on the exact same day. Color coding is very useful here, so you can visually check that there is no overlap. This shows the first week, and the only overlap is PE, which is intentional because that location can hold more groups of students. Then the offset shows how the rotation was created to make sure there is a systematic way for every student to have default access to all the enrichments we have offered, unless they have a need in a specific content area and are pulled for Tier 2. So by offset, we can see that Monday, social studies is with Group A, Tuesday we've offset at 1, and then Wednesday and Thursday. So as the groups rotate through their content enrichments, it's offset 1 day each time. So in theory, if a student is never assigned to Tier 2, they would get every content enrichment and every elective enrichment that we offer throughout the course of the year. So we've used our elective teachers to cover some of these sessions. You can see that we've blocked them into 12-week chunks. So in the first 12 weeks, these 4 elective teachers are helping out with 6th grade, and then in the second 12-week sessions, in the second 12-week chunk, it would be a different set of elective teachers. So each group of students will get 1 week of Spanish through the whole year. So here's another view of that. You can see that the first 12 weeks are these sessions, and then those sessions are repeated in the second 12 weeks, weeks 13 through 24, but with 7th grade. So the current events teacher will work with 6th graders for the first 12 weeks, 7th grade, and then 8th grade for the final 12 weeks. What that means is that this teacher will only see each group of students 1 time throughout the year. So that means she could plan 1 week's worth of activities and use it all year if that's what she chooses to do, since she will never see the same students twice. So let's look a little bit closer at the schedule for just one group. So this is Group A. So we can see a pattern of the lesson layout here. The core content teachers will need to plan 15 lessons as a department. You can see I've highlighted just math. So this shows every time that Group 6A would be in math, and that's 15 times. So there's 15 times that they would do a science-only enrichment, 15 for social studies, and 15 for English. So those departments will each plan 15 individual day lessons. The departments will also collaborate on two types of projects. The first one is a science and math collaboration, which is a STEM project, and there's 3 of them. So Group A will come to the STEM project in week 2, 14, and 26, so it cannot be the same project. Group A will also do a research project in weeks 5, 17, and 29, and the research project is a collaboration between the English and Social Studies department. The more core content teachers you can keep out of these sessions, the better, because this will free them up to run remediation sessions and extension sessions later. So use your counselors, paraprofessionals, co-teachers, all of the elective teachers, your librarians, support staff, even administrators. It's all hands on deck here, so try and keep the core content teachers available for those other small group sessions. And once you have that schedule and this rotation figured out, it's time to plug it into your flexible schedule spreadsheet so that we can start assigning kids to these groups and then assigning them to small pull-out groups to give them what they need. So we're going to switch over to that spreadsheet now. So I'm on the Schedule Pull Do Not Edit tab, and this is where you will plug in your schedule. You can change this spreadsheet template, so it's going to assign students to these locations by default based on what you put here. So for example, for 6th grade Group A, for week 1, I want them to go to these locations by default. For week 2, they will be in PE. If you scroll down, you can see starting Group B in row 47, and it continues down all the way through Group L. There are some locations that will be the same. They will never change. For example, in week 2, PE will always be in the gym. That location will not change. Week 3, the computer lab, it's always going to be the computer lab. So those locations are permanent. They're fixed. So in this schedule, this template, you just type in that location. But there are other locations, which I've highlighted blue, that may need to change. So these are not straight data. These are actually formulas, and you will need to use them to set up your schedule. So for example, on Tuesday of week 1, this is a math content enrichment, and the math department needs to decide who is going to run that enrichment for that day. So that's a database decision that they will make as a team. And on the weekly tabs, which we'll show later, they will use a drop-down menu to determine who is running that enrichment. And so we don't want to type that in. We want it to reference that cell. So in the next video, I will show the formulas and how that works and how the groups tab and this schedule tab work together. If you want to skip that, you absolutely can if you're not interested in how it works, if you just want to trust that it does work. But in order to set that up, you just can copy and paste. I've added the formulas in a table here. So for example, if I know I need them to do math on Tuesday in week 1, I will go to math on Tuesday, and I can copy this cell just with Control C, and then I can paste it wherever I need that group to do math on Tuesday. So if I need them doing English on Thursday, then I would go to the table English on Thursday and copy and paste that formula here. So in the next video, I will show exactly how those two tabs work together and all of the formulas that do the behind the scenes work to show kids where they're supposed to go, those location assignments by default. If you want to skip that, go to the video after where we're going to work on setting up the weekly tabs.